Hey guys, what is going on? I know you enjoyed my Kiwi analysis of the massive 55-man squad that this man Rassie dropped. Well, I wanted to update you because that squad has been culled to 45. Some big cuts, quite a few injury cuts. So you're going to want to watch this even if you're not a Boks fan, even if you're an All Blacks fan looking ahead to the games against the Springboks coming up at home in New Zealand. Let's cut to the car chase. Here is the revised squad. I'm going to talk you through who is missing and why. So the Boks are actually down 2 props. We got Steenkamp and Mkunu. They are out. They're going to be released back to their unions. I would imagine rehab, maybe get back into the national framework, hopefully ASAP. But that has meant there is a fresh call-up, a guy coming into the Boks squad for the first time, actually via Edinburgh. That man is Bone Venter. He was a junior Springbok, but he hasn't been a Springbok. He wasn't even in the Springbok alignment camp, so that's very much a fresh face, but you can understand why you draft him in given that 2 props have gone down to injury. Probably the most concerning injury is Pieter-Steph du Toit, man of the match, it seems like every second game, World Rugby Player of the Year. As a New Zealander, I'm just going to say, one of the international players I certainly admire the most and always fear going up against him when he's in the opposition. We'll see how serious that is. Obviously, you'd love to see him certainly back by the Rugby Championship, but looks like he's probably scratched for this Georgia-Italy Barbarians portion of the year. So, it's a little bit disappointing to see, whether you're a South African fan or not. You never want to see one of the greats going down injured. Lukhanyo Am, he is also out. And then we got 2 number 8s who have dropped. Cameron Hendrikse and João Augustus, they are gone. So scratch those off that initial squad that you had in your mind. They're not going to be eligible. And then you got a couple more that are just pretty interesting. They're, I suppose, dropped on form, or maybe Rassie thinks they're in good form, but there just isn't enough room for them, and that's the Hendrikse brothers. You have Jaden Hendrikse, who's really a pure scrum halfback, and then you have Jordan Hendrikse, who's a fly half, but really, he is a utility. I mean, you could put him at fullback. You could probably put him at 12. I mean, he's Mr. Versatility. A little bit surprised by that one. I do think South Africa has better halfback options ahead of the Hendrikse brother who plays halfback. But yeah, when you look at Jordan Hendrikse, I just wondered if Rassie liked the utility, but he's kind of got an embarrassment of riches at 10. So maybe there just isn't enough room on the depth chart, particularly with, Handré Pollard still there, one of the best 10s to ever do it for South Africa. But it does kind of reveal that, a guy like Sasha Feinberg-Ngomazulu, he's more leading the way. Mani Labok, these guys are a couple of steps ahead of Hendrikse when it comes down to that number 10 jersey. Quan Horn, who's a fullback, he's gone. And then Renzo Duplessis, young flanker who came in, he's also gone. But the one that people might be a bit disappointed by, it was a bit of a fairy tale story. That was Macaza, guy who hadn't even really played professional rugby. He went from a varsity team into the Springboks training camp. He's been cut, but look, it's amazing that he was even invited into the Springboks environment, and I'm sure he's going to earn a bunch of caps for the Boks in time. This actually reminds me a little bit of New Zealand. Like, we have often taken a player as an apprentice, if you will. Ardie Savea started that way. He went on an end-of-year tour with the All Blacks to Europe, didn't play, didn't get a cap, but was just immersed in the environment. Asafo Amua, a hooker for New Zealand, who's really come along now. He's probably the second best hooker in New Zealand behind Cody Taylor. He also started that way. So I think Rassie's doing something that other international coaches have done, which is you bring them into the environment, you see what they're made of, you give them a taste of the big leagues, send them back, let them metabolize that, absorb it, and sure enough, maybe a year from now, maybe 5 weeks from now, we'll see a young guy like Macaza back in there. But I just still think it's a great story that he even made it into the Springbok camp. I think that's pretty special. So guys, those are the boys who are going to be taking on Georgia, Italy, the Barbarians. Expect more tinkering due to injuries and form when it comes to the Rugby Championship. But yeah, still a pretty damn good-looking squad. And, injuries aside, those are always unpredictable. Not necessarily that surprising who Rassie has cut. But what do you think? Do you think some of these cuts are bad? Do you disagree? Do you like it? Do you think some of the other guys should have been cut? Let me know. Sound off in the comments. And guys, it is the Super Rugby Grand Final this weekend. I'm going to be dropping a video soon breaking down both team sheets, Crusaders and Chiefs, giving my prediction for the final. And of course, I'll be back to break it all down next weekend. So I'll catch you guys for more rugby content real soon. Take it easy. If you're South African, have a lekker day. Bye for now.